Neutral grip face pulls. We're going to set a cable above the height of the head and attach a rope to the cable. We're going to take a neutral grip, which means the palms are going to be facing each other, or it's also known as a hammer style grip. We're going to initiate the action with scapular retraction and pull the cable right towards the eyes. The center of the rope comes right towards the eyes, and preventing the chin from protruding here. This is a row with external rotation, having the scapulae in upward rotation. We can also switch to a split stance once the weight starts to get heavy and challenge, pulling us back too far.
Here we have our two-handed cable row, normal position here, athletic stance, posture up, feet shoulder hip width apart, slightly bent there, strong grip, initiating the move with the shoulder blades. Pretty straightforward move here. Stay tall. Notice that the posture is not deviating. Then we'll split stance this. Get a little bit more core involvement here. So now the left hip in this case has to work a little bit harder. So now that we've got a unilateral stance here, we've put a little bit more involvement with the hips here and a little bit more core contraction here. The horizontal pull remains the same. Posture up. There's always tension on these cables here. Strong grip, strong posture, trying to really facilitate that scapular retraction in the initiation of this movement. Here we have a high to low cable row. The stance and the setup is the same as your normal cable row, except this one we just go a little bit higher to kind of get a hybrid vertical pull with horizontal pull. All the other cues remain the same with the posture and the initiation of the shoulder blade retraction. Then here we split stance. Again, a little bit more rotational involvement through the core since it is a unilateral stance now. Still leading with the scapular retraction, strong grip. Notice the posture, nice and tall. Very deliberate scapular retraction move here. We have our chest supported row on the bench here, so it takes out some of the back extension that we have to do standing here. Notice that the chin hangs off the edge of the bench here, and the move is initiated with scapular retraction. Spine's in a straight line. So we're really trying not to shrug as much as we are simply trying to retract, downwardly rotate the scapula. And that's a cue that we use in all of our horizontal pulls. Shoulder blades first, pulling with the back muscles. And we can try to take the emphasis out of worrying about what's happening at the arm and focus on the shoulder blades.
Inverted rows. We're going to set a bar about the height of the hips or waist and get in a push-up position with the palms turned towards the body or towards the face and perform an inverted row. We're going to start with squeezing the shoulder blades and pulling the shoulder blades back and downward and try and touch the chest to the bar. With the supinated grip, there's a little more emphasis on the lats as there's more shoulder extension. And with a pronated grip, where we turn the palms away and down towards the feet, we're going to have a little more emphasis on the mid-back.
Here we have the TRX Inverted Row, which is our horizontal pull category. Now he's doing his inverted row. He's initiating the move with his shoulder blades. He's keeping his spine in a long, straight line. Craig is getting himself lined up on the third line out. So we would start this at number 3. It's the longest line here. We backed up to make it a slight easier version of it, and he moved from 3 to 4 on our line. Still maintaining that nice inverted row, hips up, chest up, everything in a nice straight line. It's tight grip, tucking those shoulder blades in a little bit. We're going to move back 1/2 and switch to our single leg version, which is still obviously in our horizontal pull category, but since we've gone on to one leg, it challenges the core quite a bit. And it's a lot more difficult to maintain a stable hip and a stable shoulder complex here. And we're going to switch legs. Stays up, finishes his position here. Tight grip, leads with the chest up towards the handles. Notice that we're not getting too far back and getting hyperextension of that humerus there and stretching out that anterior girdle. And he's finished it in a nice straight, solid line.
Bend over barbell rows. We're going to take the barbell out of a rack, step back with the feet about hip width, sit back into the hips so the torso is almost horizontal relation to the ground. And we're going to initiate with scapular retraction and pull the barbell just below the rib cage. We want to keep the back angle constant relative to the floor. We don't want to see that angle change. We can use a pronated or a supinated grip on this. We want to keep the chest stuck out so we keep that lumbar spine in neutral.